5 years later and you still hear the iPhone 13 come up in conversation. For me personally, this phone has carried me through release after release after release after release after release. It's finally 2026 and we're about to move to the 18. So, is it finally time to close the chapter on the iPhone 13? Let's talk about it. To start us off, let's talk about the performance. So I won't lie, when it comes to me, over the many years I've had the phone, I've rarely ever had any performance drops. It's always been smooth, it's always been consistent. I mean, the iPhone 13 houses the A15 chip, and just to compare, the iPhone 17 has the A19 chip. So you can see there's been a massive improvement in chip speed and cores and all that. But all in all, I genuinely haven't had an issue when it comes to the 13. I'm not really much of a mobile gamer, but as you guys can see, it runs games really smoothly. Don't know about COD though. Haven't really tried it. The biggest downside I have seen when it comes to performance was definitely when I upgraded to iOS 26, but I'll touch on that a bit later. When it comes to the battery life, it gets a bit technical for me. So in the first couple of years using the phone, I genuinely had no issues with the battery life. I think the battery used to always last me a day or so. Charge up, next day you're good. Battery charging was also not the longest, though I'm not someone who's super picky about 30 minutes and 80%, but it genuinely did charge at a good pace and I was good with it. Let's go into my settings real quick and I'll explain a few things pertaining to how it is nowadays. So guys, as you guys can see, we are on the phone right now, but I just wanted to quickly go to the battery and let's talk about it real quick. If we go down to battery health, as you guys can see, my maximum capacity is 79. That is not good. So if you are on the lookout of getting a phone, pre-owned, then definitely look for something 85%, 90% if anything and above, then you will be better off. Anything below that, then you're not really getting your money's worth. It even gives you a message in J. Your battery health is significantly degraded. So if we look at the 16th of August, I charged the phone up to around 11 or so. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, around 11 or so. And it kind of died out towards the end of the day. As you guys can see, my screen on and screen off time isn't even that much. On paper, it does say you should get about 19 hours of battery life or video playback battery life. But you know how it goes. Never really what you get in real life. On the iPhone 13, there are a few downsides or things that I feel like don't hold up in today's day and age, or what consumers or what people like anymore. One of which, the 13 has the notch. So it doesn't have that island on the top anymore like today's models. So you may not like that. It does have, the OG lightning port. It doesn't have Type-C, so that might be a pain to obviously try and get the chargers and all that stuff. Funny enough, when it came out, it was the first iPhone to introduce cinematic mode, but now cinematic mode is something of the past, and now we are looking at dual capture and having square sensors, so you have center stage and all the stuff that the iPhone has, the iPhone 17 has, that is really hitting the market heavy, and no one really talks or cares much about cinematic mode anymore. So that isn't really something that's gonna shine as of today. On the 13, you unfortunately still get the switch instead of the button for putting your phone on ring or putting your phone on silent. So that is also something that could genuinely be a pain point for a lot of people. So if we were to kind of summarize everything when it comes to the features, I do feel like feature wise is probably where you're gonna get the biggest hit. Okay, so now that we're outside, let's find out what these cameras can really do. Can people in today's day and age tell that you are now using a 13 or a 17 when you're on the ground? As you guys can see how close the bush and stuff are on that phone. This phone you can kind of see how zoomed out it is. I am using the back camera with the ultra lens. When it comes to the build, I think because it's in conversations today, you can kind of get an idea of what it is build wise. I do have scratches all around the phone there and there, but I've had it for so long and it genuinely still functions like normal. The only thing I will say it started to go, though they are very dirty, so maybe it is my fault, but the speakers are not as strong as they used to be. I mean, on calls, I haven't had anyone tell me there's issues, but music wise, yeah, it's not really as banging as, something like the iPhone 17. But I mean, shit, me tries, bro. Ah, shit, me tries. It's been so many years and that. So as we know, the iPhone 13 isn't really being made anymore, so you can only get it secondhand. But how much does it go for secondhand? Let's check it out. So as you guys can see, off of quick glance, the iPhone 13 is going at about 9,000 or so. I mean, I still a bit crazy, but like 9,000, 10,000 or so. So look to budget something like that for a second hand. Obviously, these are reputable shops. You can definitely get it for cheaper in some questionable places. But for the most part, just kind of look in that area. And like I said, look out for battery life and, pretty much the overall well-being of the phone before getting it. Let's finally speak about iOS 26. Now, this is something that I need to speak to you guys directly about because this is something that initially going into it, I made a whole video on it, so check it out if you want to. But initially going into it, great stuff. I mean, saw a little bug there and there, but it was when it was released, so of course there are going to be bugs and patches and fixes. But over time, it has been killing my iPhone 13. It's been killing it. So this is where we beg the question, does it actually move forward or is this its end? I personally feel like after this year, it may be its end. I think softwares are becoming very powerful and need machinery, aka devices that can handle it, that are made with it in mind. I think it's great that someone who has an iPhone 13 still has support, of these latest updates, though we know Apple tends to phase it out after a couple of years. I think it's like 5 or so. But regardless, I think this device was not built for something like iOS 26, especially with all the big changes like liquid glass design. So it's not doing the best. So my biggest thing is the phone itself is great. The problem came in when I upgraded to the latest software because the latest software was just too strong for the phone. And worst of all, for me, we're moving on to 27. I can't imagine how worse iOS 27 is going to be when it comes out and if it supports the iPhone 13. So once again, if there's one thing you take out of this video, let it be that before sticking with the phone or before getting an iPhone 13. And now finally for the verdicts. I personally believe if you already own the iPhone 13, you could go another year. If you're someone that does not own the 13, I would not look at getting the 13. Look at the 15, 16. I know they're very rare these days, but look at the 16 as well. If you want to push the budget, then go 17. You're future-proofed, you'll be fine. 14 is basically the 13, so you can manage that. If you find it, probably leave it. But when it comes to the 13 specifically, I don't think you really get your money's worth, whereas you could save a bit longer and get something better. And yeah, with that being said, we come to the end of another one. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. That's pretty much all from my side. So, it's been your boy Cat, and as always, love.